Prologue. Whispers in the Wind. The house on Blackwood Hill had been abandoned for nearly 50 years. Locals called it cursed. Children dared each other to run up and touch its rusted iron gate. Teenagers filmed videos for the internet that never made it online, and adults simply avoided it, pretending it wasn't there at all. No one remembered who lived there last. No one asked, because whenever someone did, strange things began to happen. Misplaced objects, whispered voices, and dreams of a girl in the attic window, watching, always watching. But on an unusually stormy October evening, something stirred within its rotting wooden frame. And that night, someone returned. Chapter 1. The Return of Ethan Greaves. Ethan Greaves hadn't been to Blackwood in 2 decades. As a boy, he spent every summer in the small town, visiting his grandmother who lived just past the hill. But after her sudden disappearance in 2004, Ethan's family stopped coming. Now in his 30s and dealing with a failed marriage and a crumbling career in journalism, Ethan needed a break, and perhaps a story worth writing. He wasn't expecting to find the house again. His rental car screeched to a halt when he spotted it, half hidden behind overgrown hedges and weeping willows. The same wrought iron gate stood defiantly, rusted but intact. The house looked exactly as he remembered, and yet impossibly older. A shiver ran down his spine. Something about it called to him. Chapter 2. The Girl in the Window. Ethan checked into the local inn and asked the elderly receptionist, Mrs. Callahan, about the house. Her face turned ghostly pale. No one's lived there since the fire, she muttered. Fire! Ethan leaned in. Mrs. Callahan only shook her head and muttered a prayer under her breath. That night, Ethan dreamed of the house. He was a child again, walking up the creaking stairs. A soft lullaby played from somewhere above. As he reached the attic, he saw her, the girl in the window, pale with long black hair, wearing a nightgown that fluttered without wind. She turned to look at him and whispered his name. He woke up in a cold sweat. Chapter 3. The Locked Room. The next day, Ethan did what any sensible person wouldn't. He returned to the house. The gate groaned open under his push. The front door, oddly, wasn't locked. Inside, time had done its damage. Peeling wallpaper, collapsed beams, moldy furniture. But the air was heavy, like the house had been holding its breath for years, and was now exhaling. He wandered through the rooms, taking photos, but what stopped him was the door at the end of the hall. Unlike the others, it was intact, padlocked, scratched. He swore he heard humming from behind it. Chapter 4. Letters in the Wall. Ethan spent the night going through local archives. Nothing much on the house, just vague mentions. But then he found an old newspaper article from 1972, Blackwood family perishes in house fire. Only child's body never found. The names hit him like a brick. Edward and Lillian Blackwood, and their daughter, Margaret. He returned the next day with bolt cutters. Inside the locked room was an attic, untouched by time. A child's room perfectly preserved. A rocking chair rocked slowly. The window was slightly ajar. And on the desk, tied with a red ribbon, was a stack of letters. They were written by Margaret to someone named E.G. Ethan Greaves. Chapter 5. Unfinished Business. The letters revealed a chilling story. Margaret had befriended a boy named Ethan during one summer, decades ago. Except Ethan wasn't even born then. The dates didn't add up. Margaret spoke of dreams where Ethan warned her of the fire, how he told her to hide in the attic, how she waited for him every night to come back, and how, even after she died, she still waited. Ethan was horrified. Was it possible he'd been here before? In another life? Or was Margaret's ghost mistaking him for someone else? Either way, the house didn't want him to leave. Chapter 6. The Seance. Desperate for answers, Ethan found an old occult shop in town. The owner, a stooped woman named Mireille, agreed to help him conduct a seance in the attic. That night, they lit candles in a circle. Mireille began to chant in a language Ethan didn't recognize. The air turned icy. The flames flickered. And then, The rocking chair moved. Margaret spoke through Mireille. You came back. Ethan asked who she was waiting for, why she wrote to him. Margaret's response chilled him to the bone. Because you're the only one who remembers me. Chapter 7. The Flames Return. The house wasn't just haunted, it was alive. The fire that killed the Blackwoods hadn't been accidental. It was the house protecting itself. The Blackwoods were planning to leave, and Margaret didn't want that. Her energy, her soul, became one with the house. And now that Ethan had come, she wanted him to stay. The floorboards ignited. Flames erupted from the walls. Mireille screamed and vanished into smoke. Ethan ran, letters clutched in hand, diving out the window as the house once again burned. But this time, someone watched from the attic window. Margaret, still waiting. Epilogue. The book that wrote itself. Back in the city, Ethan tried to forget, but the letters wrote themselves into his dreams. The photos he took were blank. He published a book titled The House on Blackwood Hill. It became a bestseller. But every night he dreamed of a girl with black hair and a white nightgown, of a lullaby on the wind, and of fire. And in the dedication of the book, Ethan wrote, For Margaret, I remember you.